Hey everyone, welcome to Grab Your Keys. I am very excited to have Kelly Meerbott here. She is the CEO of Athena Consulting Group, a new venture, and I might have said it wrong. And if I said it wrong, you can say that I said it wrong. That's okay. I'm excited that this is a first to be announcing this on our first our podcast. I can't wait to learn more about you and your company. So, welcome, Kelly.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here, and I'm always like, I love giving a nod to my last name. You know, my husband and his family have always been good to me. So shout out to the Meerbotts. And the company is called the Aletheia
Aletheia.
Consulting Group. Yeah, it's a mouthful, but it's a Greek word for the truth, honestly. So I mean, working with an organization that really has 29 verticals underneath it, and to work with somebody as powerful as Jared Elkins, whose family literally founded this country, is just an honor, and it's a privilege of my lifetime. So I'm excited to.
That is exciting. Tell me a little bit about what you'll be doing with that company and how you help people.
Yeah, so I'll be it really absorbed my company, you loud and clear. So I'll be doing a lot of still one-on-one coaching. I'll be doing group coaching. My favorite thing that we're going to really amplify is coaching coaches. Because there's a lot of great coaches out there that are struggling, that have not been taught or educated on how to get the best lawyer benefits, those things without killing themselves financially. And a lot of those things too can create a distraction. If you don't have a good attorney, if you don't have a good accountant, if you don't have a way to get benefits, especially now in today's environment, Aletheia itself is going to take away those concerns and give people the best of the best in an affordable way.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, to me as an entrepreneur for 17 years, it's like, finally,
Right.
and to be able to be at the helm and walk in lockstep with the founder, and to work with the other platform founders and holders is going to be great, because it's, I mean, real estate falls under it, insurance, security, both cyber and physical. I mean, it's just like
It's
endless.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, as an entrepreneur and as a coach and as somebody who's sold their company, I think that that's so important
Yeah.
in knowing all of those things. Even as a mortgage individual, I help my clients in all of those ways, but I also coach so many mortgage professionals who are struggling with that, and just so many entrepreneurs who are also struggling with that, and women who don't know, even what their financials are. It
Yeah.
just is mind boggling to me at times. The basics that we need to educate people on every single day.
Hmm.
So, how did you get into this business about what you do, into coaching coaches? Like, how did that even work? And I know you just stepped into this,
Yeah.
your company being absorbed, but we had even spoken a little bit about before we even came on for like a second, and I could already feel your fantastic energy
Oh, Sue,
in
thanks.
saying like a door opened, I wasn't even looking for it, and it came to me because great people find great people.
Yeah.
So how did you fall into the business of coaching coaches, and where you are now?
Okay, so first of all, coaching found me. The best coaches, and this, are it's they're this is what they're called to do, right? I don't. When I was first talking to Jared, who founded Aletheia, he said to me, "Would you do what you're doing if money were no object? Would you do what you're doing without pay?" And I was like, absolutely, because for me, the juice is worth the squeeze when you watch somebody's mind blow and they go, oh, and to bear witness to that over
Yeah.
17 years, over, almost 2,000 clients, over 10,000 coaching hours, to walk alongside somebody like that is an honor. I mean, but the launch pad really, Sue, was me getting laid off from corporate after Bain Capital came and bought Clear Channel. I didn't, I didn't expect to be one of the 30,000 that was laid off, but I was. And I will tell you, the gentleman who laid me off 2 years later, I wrote him a thank you note saying what I thought was the worst day of my life was actually the best day because it launched me
Yeah.
into what I was called to do. You know, as far as the Aletheia situation, I mean, it was meeting somebody who introduced me to somebody else who introduced me to Jared. And it was like, oh my God, and what he's building is really transformational. And inside the platform, you were talking about women in finance. My husband, for a very short amount of time, was in finance, and one of the stats that he came back with, which is not going to shock you or I, is by 2030, women are going to hold the most buying power in this country. And one of the things I love about Aletheia is the self-directed IRAs, you know what I mean? And being able to teach people how to protect their money and how to make the most out of their money and take away that worry if the economy is going sideways or doing things that we don't cognitively understand. This is a place where it's almost a buffer against that.
Right.
Which I love, and I want to empower women. I mean, one of my goals with Aletheia is to help women retire their husbands who want to be home with kids because 70% of my coaching practice is men. And one of the things I hear all the time is if I were able to be there at home and be present when my kids were born, I would absolutely jump at that
Right.
opportunity.
Right.
Well, if we have the most buying power and we can retire our husbands, yes, we want to do that. And we have the power to do that because I am a big believer that women are magic. I really do.
I
Um,
do believe that women. I just had a seminar, all day seminar on unlocking the power of her. We had 80 women there. We had fantastic speakers. I'll have to have you a speaker next year. And we did talk about unlocking that power of women are fantastic with empathy and with understanding and with and being able to connect with people on a different level. And that's so important to taking everything to that next level that you're actually talking about retiring. So retiring your husbands, because sometimes you have to make that choice, and women feel that they have to be so much to everyone, and that can come a little bit off their plate at that time. What do you feel the three keys to your success have been?
yeah, when Charlotte sent me the questions, I was like, oh my God, there's so many more than
Yeah,
three,
right.
but I'll narrow
That's
it
what
down.
makes it hard.
Yeah. So, radical self awareness, you can't lead others if you can't lead yourself, right? So, taking a hard look in the mirror, knowing where your gaps and blind spots are, where your wounds and triggers are, what your story is, what your defining moments have been, good, bad, and ugly, and how they inform how you show up, being radically self aware of how you show up in the world it is important, right? Because really our value is in our presence, not our performance,
I love
despite
that.
what society says. Then I've been practicing sacred enthusiasm, right? So the root of the word enthusiasm is the old Greek for entheos, meaning the divine within, right? It's being excited about things, joy as a leadership strategy. It's contagious. It fuels creativity and it keeps people inspired because you can't motivate anybody. You can only inspire them by your example. So why not be excited about things and share that, because especially now where the world feels heavy and we do too. The highest and noblest thing we can do as leaders is hold light in the darkness.
Hmm.
So think of ourselves as lighthouses. And then the third has been something that I've lived by my entire life, which is do what you say you're going to do, but only 100% of the time. And the most important time is when nobody's watching. That's how you build real trust. And a very succinct way of saying that is integrity, right? We there's a war on integrity right now.
Yeah.
Whether it's misinformation, disinformation, what the media is saying is the scariest and most sensational thing in the world. And our leaders, and I use that very loosely because I think we've got a handful of really great leaders who are willing to stand in the face of the storm and not blink. But for me, like I practice integrity. Am I perfect at it every day? No. But that is a guiding principle for me.
I love
Um,
that. Well, I
yeah.
think that you need to know what your core values are to move ahead. And I
Yeah.
always tell my children, and I guess everyone, like, you need to love yourself before you can love others. And that's pretty much what you're saying in the first one, in radical self-awareness. You need to know who you are before you can be a leader. And you need to have those stories of heartbreak and joy. And you need to have the heartbreak so that you can have joy as a leader,
Yeah.
so that you see the gratefulness in it, and you can move forward. So you know, I love the radical self-awareness, the sacred enthusiasm. I mean, they're all amazing. And then the integrity part of it is fantastic, because all of those really come back to who you are truly as a person.
Mhm.
And you can't help people be better if
Yeah.
you aren't your best self.
Yeah, and I would say, just to kind of dovetail off of that, as I was listening to you, Sue, because you and I, we're both professionals and we're both women, and we were never taught how to negotiate, right? Never.
Right.
And I was just thinking about something I said to Jared as I was negotiating, my contract with them. And I said, if you expect me to be in a meeting to talk about a meeting, to set a meeting, or have access to me 24/7, I'm not the one. Right? I'm not the one. I want to have time with my family. I want to have time to play and rest and all of those things. If I didn't know myself well enough and what I need to show up at my best, I'd be like, okay, all right,
Yeah.
just whatever. Right. But no, you have to take control of your life and, just know what your non negotiables are. And those were non negotiables, because I had heard about founders and CEOs that were being burnt out, and I've been burnt out before, and I'm not at my best there. So
Yeah. So when
luckily,
when I was selling CLG, Centennial Lending Group, which I started in 2010, in 2018, they said, "What are the three things that you love to do?" And I like named my three things that I love to do. And they said, "Okay, well, they're the only three things that you're at this new company that you're going to have to do." And I was like, "Yeah, that's amazing." And I was like, "And the one thing I hate to do is I never want to look at a profit and loss again. And I don't want to see a balance sheet. I hate that. Like, I do not find joy in that." And
yeah,
this is literally how I negotiated my contract. And I was like, "I don't find joy in that." And I said, "If you have a problem with something that I'm doing, um, call me and I'll fix it." Like, that's that.
yeah,
But I don't want to, I'm not going to bicker about this or that. I just want you to tell me what you like or what you don't like. That's the only way that I'm going to be able to flourish as a person in this new position. And that was a great way. But you're right. We never get taught how to negotiate properly. We
mhm,
just kind of flubbed it. I mean, I'm probably a better negotiator now than I've been in my past, but it's because that's not negotiating 101 in college.
right. Well, and that's something else I said to Jared when we were talking about the consulting group, is that I wanted a module or a course I could teach women on negotiating,
Yeah.
because with my clients specifically, I'm really good at teaching them how to do that. And we use the techniques out of Chris Voss, who's a former FBI hostage
Mhm.
negotiator. He's great. And I love his work, and it works. So, for me to be able to empower women to get to the point where they're negotiating like you and
Yeah.
me, like, no, I'm not doing that. And oh, by the way, I'm only working 10 to 4 Monday through Friday,
Right.
not negotiating that. Because you can. And if you know yourself well enough to go, okay, Mr. CPA, you're going to take the balance sheet and the profit and loss system, because, sheet, because I hate that. And I hate that too, by the way.
Yeah.
So makes me want to vomit in my mouth.
Because whoever taught us how to learn how to do
Nobody.
balance sheets and P&Ls? I didn't take a CPA class. And it's
No.
so funny that I joined boards as the CEO of my company. I joined boards of universities and high schools to learn from accountants how they were looking at profit and losses, because I didn't want my board to know that I didn't know how to look at a P&L. It
Yeah.
was so funny. Like, here I am, 40 years old, and I'm owning a huge multi-million-dollar business. And I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
And I had to like, okay, well, I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm going to join nonprofits and be on the board of trustees, and maybe I'll learn from that. Because and really it was just sink or swim,
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah.
So, and luckily I knew what I was doing, and I'm a quick learner and can figure it out pretty fast.
Yeah.
But what's one challenge that you have faced that shaped who you are today?
Oh God, there are so many, but let me say the most recent. So September 28th, 2023, I was visiting my parents, and we flew into Palm Beach International Airport,
Mhm.
and a guy hit me with his car as a pedestrian. But and it did a lot of things. Like it had my pelvis roll forward and
Yeah.
go up and all of this stuff. But what it really taught me was how to slow down again, right? Like, so I've coached everybody from small family owned businesses in Harrisonburg, Virginia to five-star generals that hold the nuclear codes, right? And one of the things I love about the military, and shout out to all the veterans, including my
Oh,
husband today.
absolutely. Thank
Um,
you all for your service.
yeah, they're amazing. It's an amazing community of people, but they always taught me slow is smooth and smooth is fast, and that's true, right? That's something they teach them when they're learning how to shoot weapons. But I had become rushed and disconnected from my body. I had to relearn presence. I feel like pain becomes your greatest teacher and your touchstone, and it taught me compassion, patience, the value of boundaries, and it reminded me that growth and healing aren't linear. They're layered and sacred, and it's a very personal journey.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's a horrible story, but it's a great story of you
Thank you.
taking something bad and making it good.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
that's
that's really kind of I mean, I'll drop the kind of that's the way I've always been in my
yeah,
life. I mean, if you watch my TED Talk, that's another story of resilience. But you can go one of two ways. You can go the way of the darkness or the light. And I really wanted to figure out how to lift myself out of it so I could be an example for others. Like, if I can do it, you can do it.
yeah,
And if you can't do it on your own, take my hand and I'll help you. Um,
absolutely.
you know.
What made you do a TED Talk?
Um, I wanted to tell my story and not have to tell it again.
Right.
And also, I mean, it's the story of being victorious over 3 sexual assaults within 2 months of each other. And that's 1 in 3 women. It
Yeah,
happens to 1 in 6 men. Probably that number is not accurate with men because it's
nobody will
socially
tell.
built in a
Yeah,
different way. The numbers aren't really accurate, but really, I wanted to. It's one of those tests, Sue, where you're like, God, this happened when I was 19. I'm late 40s. Can I tell this? And can I tell it in a way that will honor survivors, so that if they couldn't tell their story, they could see themselves in mine, and also know that they are not broken. They are like a piece of kintsugi pottery and can recreate themselves in a way that is stronger, more beautiful, and um, uh, that we're all traumatized. I mean, it's called Our Trauma, A Bridge to Belonging. And we're the most traumatized population of humans on this planet in the history of this planet, because you don't have to be an active participant in a traumatic event. You just have to witness it. Well,
yeah.
think about George Floyd's murder. I mean, none of us would have seen that 20 years ago, but now because
Because
of
of digital capability, we're all seeing everything right away. And I mean, I worry about our children.
I do.
They see everything like so fast. There's no filter. I mean, no filter on so many things. And as parents, I feel it's our responsibility to have open communication and talk about that. But that's actually taught us how to, practically learn on our feet constantly, because so much is being hit with to our kids. And then if you have open communication, you have to have that dialogue.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, you're pretty much a parenting and coaching constantly
Oh,
in
I'm
today's
sure.
society. So, yeah, that is total. That is a lot, and I'm going to definitely check out that TED Talk. So thanks for bringing that up. I did
Yeah.
see that you had that because
Yeah.
I liked everything that you said. Because so many people say, like, you start on your LinkedIn, like, if you ever wake up and you're vomiting before you even go to work because you're dreading the day. I kind of love that, but I didn't like it because I hear so many people feel that way, and I always tell my children, like, do something that you're going to love, even if it's going to take you longer in the path. Like, I find so much passion and energy and excitement with what I do, and I can see that you do too.
Yeah.
Like, that allows our lives to be so much easier and brighter. And my son would hate me saying this, but he got a couple, like 3 or 4 months ago, he got let go from a company. And I said, Drew, this is the best thing that happened to you. You got it over with. And when you're 25, like, everyone gets let go and fired from a job. Do something with it now. Either build a company, get another job, like, do something with it. And you did the same thing. You took, I'm bringing it full circle pretty much. Like, you took that job and then you made something of it, in coaching and making people be better for themselves, empowering them to be better. How do you see your industry evolving, especially with the digital world that we live in today, the AI that we're living in today? How do you see it evolving, and where do you think that you're going to be part of that?
So, first of all, I love AI. I'm not scared of
Mhm.
it. As an entrepreneur, it's made me more productive. It's
Yeah,
saved me
absolutely.
money. And I'll give you an example. Sue, you've obviously read my my posts on LinkedIn. I always start
Which
with
I
my own.
loved. I was in it. I was like, this is great.
Thank you. Thank
I'm gonna love
you.
her.
Well, I love you too. I mean, feelings mutual. I mean, you're just a reflection of me, sister. So I'm just happy to be here. But for me, going back to AI, we've been using it for a really long time. I don't think there's anything to be scared of it. Is it going to replace routine and mundane tasks? Sure, it is. But I think the best leaders are understanding what it is as a tool. There are great experts out there. Like, I met with a woman a couple weeks ago, and she's like, she helps organizations choose the right AI tool for
Mhm.
themselves. And there were things that I didn't consider, where she was like, yeah, apparently Gemini changed its open source, so now everything you put in it. And this company just spent hundreds of thousands of dollars. And so I was like, wait a second, this is a
Yeah.
cyber, you know what I mean? So getting yourself an expert to help you navigate it. But as far as coaching goes, for me, I see it evolving as human restoration, right? Going back to connection. We don't need more high achievers running on empty. We need self aware leaders that are conscious, that are intentional, who know how to regulate their emotions, who know how to manage their energy, who know how to create psychologically safe spaces for their people, and they model wholeness and really being healthy, whatever that looks like for them, right? I'm not talking about the standard of beauty. I'm talking about what makes you feel your best, right? Like,
Right.
Kelly knows that she needs at least 7 hours of sleep and a workout and meditation. And I have a care team around me. I have therapists
Yeah.
that help me because the things I hear are very heavy and I need a place to put them. But I see myself continuing to expand the movement through my work with the Aletheia Consulting Group, which
Yeah.
I helped co-found. And one of the things I love about Jared is he always talks about altruism over alpha, and that's really, we're breathing life into that in the business world. And we're really building a new consulting model that's rooted in presence, play, and purpose. I mean,
Yeah.
all of those things really need to be integrated into work, as I see it. I mean, I know that the generations like your son and millennials, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, Gen Beta, they're not just saying this is nice to have, they are demanding it.
Right.
And they're right, because they looked at Gen X, they looked at boomers, saw how loyalty is not rewarded, that we were just cogs in the machine, and they're demanding to change that. And bravo,
Yeah.
bravo to them,
Absolutely.
you know.
What what's one piece of advice that you use all the time?
You don't have to accept the invitation to every argument, and that no response is a response.
Right.
Those go hand in hand. I
Right.
mean, that really came from my best friend Carrie, who, and it's been life changing. Just because somebody invites you into an argument, and I'll give you an example from the internet. Like when somebody gets nasty in my DMs, and they do a lot because I have over 30,000 followers, I don't go in and try to convince them otherwise. I just block
Right.
and delete them.
I agree with you 100%. And sometimes when I get an email, I think to myself, that doesn't even deserve a reply. So I'm not replying. And if
No.
they come back at me, what are they going to say? You didn't reply? Yes, you're right. I didn't reply.
And I'm not replying to your second email either. You know what I mean? It's like I just don't need that energy, and it's just for me. I just don't even want to entertain that.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've had people call me names my whole life, so it's really that's all you've got. Okay, have a nice life.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you on that. I mean, can't have all friends. Like,
No,
you really want all friends anyway. Not everyone's gonna like you,
right?
and that's okay.
Yeah.
What's in the future for Kelly?
Um, More joy, more expansion, more freedom, more liberating women, to be as powerful as I know they are, and help them determine what is noise and what is actual,
Yeah,
like, valuable stuff. I mean, really, all of this stuff that we're hearing, it's all made up. Somebody made it up somewhere.
right,
So just to help women tap into that ancient wisdom that's inside of us. We are warriors. There
yeah.
is a reason why life comes through us, not men. And I'm
Yeah,
not betting on men.
it's
Understand that. I love men, but
yeah, it's
you know,
trusting your energy too.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
trusting your gut and you're protecting your energy.
yeah. I mean, and I see retreat centers in our future. I see planned communities where
Yeah,
health and the village is really empowered again. I think with technology, anything's possible, and with the right leaders in place, who are conscious, are intentional, do understand the importance of psychological safety, do understand the importance of spirited debate. Like I don't need sycophants behind me. I don't need that. I need
right.
somebody who's going to challenge my mindset and make sure that I'm the best leader possible. So that's what I look forward to, and continuing to be a light bearer.
Yeah,
You know.
I love that, Kelly. I've loved getting to know you better and all of your inspiration and thought today. Thank you so much. We're going to have all your information below. So if anyone would like to get in touch with Kelly, you can find her on social media, connect with her. She's a wealth of information, and we'll have all of her information down below. Thank you so much, and everyone, thank you for listening to Grab Your Keys.
Thank you so much, Sue.
Thank you.